How you doing? My name is Millard Wesley Birch. I am making this video to address the United Nations on the implications of Donald Trump and his actions. Who am I? My name is Millard Wesley Birch. I grew up between Georgia and Florida. Georgia clay, Florida sand, what people around here would call the mud. I grew up in a small town, didn't come from much, grew up poor, something that man would know nothing of, no proclivities of whatsoever. I did not have the dynamics, I did not have the psychology or separatism and so forth in which is instilled in that man. Now, I'll let y'all to buy y'all's time on this video, because of the fact of the matter is that I didn't have any written down. I don't have no paragraphs. I don't have no writer. I don't have no proper definition of what I'm trying to, I guess, portray. And I probably should have, but considering the conditions in the situation, I hope y'all take that in consideration and still listen. I was going to Tallahassee Community College in Tallahassee, Florida. I had a girlfriend and so forth. I was an average college student. Average student, wasn't that much. Wasn't no scholar. After that, my life started flipping upside down, and the implications of what was happening in my life I couldn't see. I was gaslighted by lots and lots of people on a community effort, almost. I have been illegally Baker acted for the implications of my heart and my heart condition and so forth. I have dealt with gangs. I have been dealing with gangs on a regular basis. I've been dealing with death threats. I know me making this video puts a hard target on me. I don't care. It's necessary. I have dealt with guns, knives, and so forth. Implications of my life has been in jeopardy multiple times. I was walked senseless, pretty much. It was at one point in time, I went from Tallahassee, Florida, to Georgia. From Georgia to Tennessee. From Tennessee to Cleveland, Ohio. From Cleveland, Ohio to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to Erie, Pennsylvania. Within those times, I have learned the conditions of sociology and the connections of social networking. That if you get on these people's radar, and what I mean by that in general, if you get on people with money, power, and persuasion, and you get their attention, and they can pass social judgment and choose to play a God complexity in a way, they can squeeze down on you. And what I mean by squeezing down, I mean that they can have you killed. And I learned that. Now, where this involves Donald Trump is that I was locked in a room in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I was being OD'd on methamphetamines, and they were lacing my food and so forth, it pretty much made me stay up on periods of days of times. Anybody who does interrogation or knows that the dynamics of psychological pain compared to the dynamics, compared to the traits of physical pain variates, because psychological pain does not have a time limit. They made me believe my nephew was drowned in a tub because of the color of his skin. They made me believe my mother was killed off, that my brothers were killed off, and so forth, that if I got out of bed at a certain time, somebody else would be hurt. How did they do this? They attained my personal information to descriptive value from social networks and so forth, and they used it as a manipulative tool or a weapon in a way to break me down psychologically. They regressed me to points where I was bawling up, crying, thinking that my aunt was killed, beaten over the head, and I'm thinking that most of my family is being killed off. Well, I'm watching CNN, and this is when I start to realize that people were somehow noticing exactly where I'm at, because I was watching Stephen Colbert, and Stephen Colbert was sitting there bragging about how I was going to be tortured on live national television and so forth, and so was James Gordon, who was socially connected to this, but and LeBron James and a few others. But anyways, I was watching CNN, and the Rose Garden press conference when Trump came out with the Romanian president. I can't pronounce his name, but what up, Romaine? Anyways, the situation of that is that I was watching the press conference, and Donald Trump comes out and with the Romanian president, and they're sitting there talking, and the camera's still rolling, and they're on live feed and so forth. And I'm pretty sure y'all know about this because y'all watched it. I am the guy that they were going to Lee Harvey Oswald the fuck out. Oh, excuse my language. Lee Harvey Oswald me out. I was just an average college student. I had every chance, like, just planning on going to school and so forth, and graduating, settling down, wife, family. If you're wondering how an average college student, or how an average man at 29 years old started taking on world leader, Donald Trump or president, no, it's just because I didn't take the money. Well, after it got too loud, they realized that they had to do something. They was hoping they could either buy me off, but I knew I didn't have time. If I would have took money, they would have got me later. Be honest with you, that's how it works. So I'm sitting there, and they're saying that they're going to Lee Harvey Oswald me the F out. And they're saying with a separatism of humanity and individuality, acting like the cost of life was nothing. That one individual life compared to theirs was no comparison at all. Showed the separatism of humanity within them. I wanted to say this: I'm not undermining an office. I'm not undermining an entity whatsoever. And I'm not going at a country when I sit there and call out a person for their actions. I am going at the men that were involved, and so forth. I am not going at anybody else. The implications of separatism when a man is being tortured out in the open and publicly should come with. I guess I was expecting some kind of heroism or something from him, and I don't know why I expected that. I guess that's why American people look at the president that sort of way, that the president doesn't just sit back and do nothing. He always does something. I just didn't think it was gonna be like that. Later on, after I got back to Tallahassee, which I rode on a Greyhound bus back with pencils up down in my sleeve for protection and so forth, they illegally Baker Acted me because I kept trying to find out about my heart condition. No, illegally Baker Acted, and Donald Trump was at a press conference, and I'm sitting there watching him, and I'm on camera. That's how they're doing it. If I'm on camera, then in general that they can understand or keep track exactly where I'm at and what I say and so forth. So it's an output and directive concept there. So Donald Trump's at a press conference. Some guy asked me how I feel about Donald Trump. said I had to use the restroom. I had to use the restroom. And Donald Trump apparently squeezed down on me there, and somebody yelled out, he wants him dead. This was where it started to really incline to getting louder. I guess what I'm saying, what I'm trying to really get at right now is the fact that I would ask the international community to buy time for us as an American citizens for us to take care of this Donald Trump situation. To take in consideration of the antics of that man and know that it is not portrayed to the dynamics of what our country stands for. I do not believe in concentration camps. We should lead with our morals before the implications of others, of economics and so forth. But I guess what I'm asking is for patience from the international community. Now, I know this is not well spoken, and I know this is kind of on the fly, but us as Americans have to take care of this situation. It's that simple. So, for that actions of that man and the implications of what he's capable of causing and so forth, I ask for patience and restraint from the international community when it comes to the associations of the United States, and know that I'm not undermining my office or the office of a president. I'm undermining a man with absurdity and absurd actions and antics. And I thank y'all for your time, and I hope y'all really take this video in consideration. And once again, I do ask for y'all's patience. Thank you.